they did decide to bring JustSaiyan's primary game knowledge does not.
There's more data out there. Yeah, there's just more possibilities. Saiyan,
getting comfy?
Getting comfy there, getting all ready for the naps. I think this is a little bit of a meme. Saiyan's a low-key dank memer. Like, this guy, even though he's very assuming, he doesn't raise his voice and doesn't get very emotional. At least the most he'll ever do is just, like, sigh deeply. He's actually very deep into the memes. And so, like, whenever he does things on camera, it's very calculated. This guy calculates everything in Hearthstone and how he presents his brand. So that pillow is probably for him to be ready for the Warrior Hero Power Pass moments.
Yep.
That said, off to a air quote fast start with Dr. Boom Mad Genius on both sides here. Saiyan moved to California a little bit over a year and a half ago, I think, where he was living with his then teammates Tempo Storm. These days, I think he lives with one of our old good buddies, Tides of Time.
Speak to me.
And I think you said Muzzy has moved in with him, or he's going to?
Or planning, yeah. And you know what, Dan? He lives in the Inland Empire. Or at least he used to. He may have moved.
He lives a little south of that, I think.
It's still inland. It's Corona.
Yeah, Corona.
Still in that Inland Empire category.
Are we just like doxing Saiyan right now? He lives on 123 Main Street, Corona, California.
Well, that is a very big city, you know. That area is almost as big as Los Angeles itself, which is a fun fact within itself, Dan. There's a whole nother thriving, bustling community just east of Los Angeles with many fantastic people, great families, even better food. I highly recommend it.
I'm sold.
If you or anybody from the Twitch chat would like to come visit me, just hit me up and I'll organize it.
Stop trying to get me to move to East LA.
It's not East LA, Dan.
Okay. East of LA.
There you go. We need those 2 extra letters to make it accurate.
I feel like crossing LA is like Oregon Trail. It's like the modern form of it. I need an entire party. I need to stock up a week of supplies to trek through. And it's like a 50% chance I die of dysentery.
It is true. Just about. Now, today was a weekend, so it wasn't that bad for me, but on weekdays, I need to load up my hatchback full of snacks in order to make the drive over here to Los Angeles.
All right, well, not too much action going on. Saiyan, of course, he doesn't have the Elysiana, so he can draw much more aggressively. Dog even has the very funny ability to make Saiyan overdraw by Dynomatic for 5 cards. Doesn't seem exactly like what he wants him to do, but at the same time, you're in a pretty good spot because you have Dr. Boom Mad Genius. Saiyan thinking about if he wants to actually play this. This is pretty funny because if he's like, if I burn a card, what happens?
It doesn't matter, right? Because he gives his opponent a weapon, which makes him draw the 6th card anyway from Acolyte.
Right.
So he realizes that and thinks, okay, not worth it. All right, Dog, what's your plan? Leave the Acolytes on the board.
That kind of plan, huh?
Yeah.
It's the do nothing and wait plan.
Which he afforded the luxury to do so.
Yeah.
Because of that Archivist Elysiana. Now, one thing to note is he does not have any type of bounce effects, doesn't have Youthful Brewmaster or Baleful Banker, so he's just operating under the one Elysiana. And we saw the interesting game or match between Firebat and Frozen earlier, the featured match, where Firebat drew aggressively early on and then had his Youthful Brewmaster pulled from a Hecklebot that Frozen got from a delivery drone, which made the game a lot closer than I would have expected it to be. Of course, Firebat still won because of just how far ahead he was in fatigue. But still maybe something to think about. Often doesn't come into play.
Job's done.
Dog pointing out the Dr. Boom Mad Genius. I mean, what do we have to say about Dog besides the fact that I think he's one of the most naturally talented players also in Hearthstone? I feel like this guy can take any deck to top 10 Legend has a sharp mind for deck building. Very fun stream to hang out with. Really chill guy. He hangs out with the hottest dudes. Y'all are pathetic. Is this the longest that Acolytes have gone in like any game without being touched ever?
They're pushing 2 every turn, Dan. Just saying it's had enough. Time to draw some cards.
Some. Wow. Ends up working out in the ideal way with Town Crier only taking... Oh, sorry. Town Crier taking 2 of the damage bombs.
I gotta move.
Saiyan's at 8 cards. Dog can make him overdraw twice if he has a Warpath, but it wouldn't necessarily be worth it, I think.
Well, Dynamatic makes him overdraw twice as well. So that's a pretty easy one because not the easiest card to use. Just pull like infinitely ahead of him.
No, that was the first bomb that got attacked and shuffled in.
Okay.
It wasn't the second.
It wasn't the second.
It wasn't the second.
Okay. So now there are 2 bombs. Are there 2 bombs left in the deck?
The Clockwork Goblin.
So yeah, 2 swings of Wrench Caliber plus Clockwork Goblin, so 2 left. So 3 bombs, 1 draw.
My hand.
Warpath.
My hand is full.
Harrison Jones. What is Saiyan's game plan? He's drawing so much more aggressively than Dog. Time is on Dog's side because of the Elysiana. I mean, Saiyan also has the Dr. Boom Mad Genius he's been holding on to for a little bit.
Defend the gates!
Going for the pressure plan.
No real other option, and at this point, honestly, he has stuck a decent amount of damage on the Dog being actually more.
Yeah, I think Dog was immediately hovering over the Harrison Jones.
In a museum.
Trying to shut down the weapon, prevent the draw. Oh, sorry, get the draw, prevent the bomb. Has the ability to delivery drone as well. Clockwork Goblin seems to be the best as your opponent gets closer to fatigue without Elysiana.
Yeah, JustSaiyan has drawn so many cards.
Yeah, and Dog also has bombs, so it makes it look a lot more dramatic and different than it actually is.
Yeah.
The bombs being shuffled in is partially to give Dog a bigger deck.
Yeah, there's 3 in there, so it's like 17 to 11. So Saiyan's still drawn 6 more cards, but not as big as it may appear. Saiyan forced to abandon the pressure train in order to get Dr. Boom online. And I feel that this is the case every single game. The only player who's managed to succeed in the pressure line has been Eddie when he played against his teammate Bloody Face yesterday. He was able to just get the bombs rolling, had Seaphorian bombers, and was able to win the game on turn 9 in a Warrior Mirror. Everybody else has kind of tried, but has not succeeded and has been forced to abandon that plan and try and play heads up, but doesn't feel like it's going to work out with Elysiana in Dog's pocket. As well as a drawn it yet, so a delivery drone into Hecklebot could even it up. Let's say it's still 6 cards behind the fatigue despite that.
So then here from Saiyan, he picks up the second Omega Assembly. These are some tools that he can use to maybe mount some kind of pressure. It's not great, though. However, 10 mana means that the Omega Devastators are also online, so anything that he builds can immediately get torn down. He's so far ahead in fatigue count, so I wonder if, like, that's what I was going to say. Like, does it even really matter if he plays Shield Block and gets closer down to fatigue? Because we saw what Frozen tried to do against Firebat, which was go even in the fatigue parity. Didn't really come into play whatsoever. And Saiyan, by dumping the Shield Block, maybe he gets that opportunity to get fortunate with Mechathune. right? Like, if he gets a delivery drone, he's already invested the shield blocks and acolyte.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier.
Giving himself that out.
Yeah, it's a very low percentage chance.
Very low. But still a possibility, and at this point, that's his best win condition, right? Everything else has been exhausted. Doug's still at a healthy 40 life with armor combined, and has a full hand of just pretty much straight-up removal.
Defend the gates.
Yeah, times on Dog's side, still just going to play the slow removal game. The onus really is on Saiyan to see if he can present a threat of some kind. Omega Assembly. Build the suits of armor. Oh, wow, that's some big pants you can put on.
Some big, untargetable pants.
Yeah, those are some outlet store pants that you get from the clearance sale section. You know, where they don't have enough. It's like, at one point they just give up putting X's on us, and they put like 6XL or something at one time. It was in Asia, when they do that, it's actually, I fit like a triple XL.
Yeah, I fit a like 25 times XL. I couldn't even buy clothes in Taiwan.
Yeah, no, their sizing is so different because they scale for like generally smaller people.
I walk into a store, they escort me out.
Looks like the safeguard is going to come down here, but Saiyan still has the Beryllium Nullifier. I think we can find a way to navigate it with the Omega Devastators played already. I don't really see that many good targets to attach to because the Clockwork Goblin and Beryllium Nullifier still only has 11 health, and that's pretty easy for the war to deal with.
Could try and stick Omega Devastator.
That's fair. Yeah, like, so if you place 2 medium-sized minions, that often warrants an Omega Devastator, because then they'll want to destroy one with the Battle Cry and then trade in with the other with Rush. So if you play 2 mechs here, like, let's say you play Clockwork Goblin, maybe Saiyan can bait out another Omega Devastator. Ooh, another Safeguard. Yeah, nice. So then for Dog's perspective, nothing really has changed. Militia Commander Mega Devastators until the day we die. Bomb. Not gonna really do much, just come down to 40.
Yeah.
Second Omega Devastator comes out.
What a weird world we live in.
I mean, this is kind of what Saiyan wants. By playing multiple mechs, you kind of like encourage them to do that, because then they like win back the board. And then maybe that's where Beryllium Nullifier can finally see some play.
Yep.
I mean, Saiyan can still go one level deeper and like say, oh, I don't have a real good reload, and he could like Safeguard and Nightmare Amalgam clear off the board, and then like force out Brawl, right? And then Brawl's like another thing that can't kill the Beryllium Nullifier minion because it got too tall and there's not enough minions on the board.
And then he just has to stick it for the rest of the game. Has Ziliax to follow that up?
Right.
I mean,
it's unlikely.
There's something there. There's something.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
What mech is going to play out here?
Oh, I love that you
Play 2 cheaper ones with the Nightmare Amalgam. Clockwork Goblin. Ziliax. Oh, he's making his move. He can't deal with this.
All right.
And he's going to Beryllium Nullifier it.
The problem is it's not untargetable yet, so a Shield Slam can just deal with this quite easily.
I mean, maybe even the delivery drone with the Omega Devastator possibility here for Dog. He's like saying, okay, yes, I know you've used both of your I know you used 2 of the Mega Devastators, but you still might be able to discover one. So here's like another prime rich target that you'd want to use it on.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
He's just going for the next level. He's going to
Yeah,
stick it as the last threat.
He is a player that does that. I got a chance to like sit down and play with Saiyan one time recently, and just listen to his thought process of just like how many levels this guy goes to thinking through his turns through is very interesting and mind-blowing to a certain extent.
I do have a funny story. At the Grandmasters Summit that we had immediately post-World Championship, we encouraged the players to cooperate with our team, with the Hearthstone Sports and publishing team, to create content. Like if they want to get guides out there, that we would help them publish them and edit them and things like that. And we wanted to work with JustSaiyan on a guide early on, and we told him to pick a game that he wanted to highlight and record 5 minutes of breakdown of a couple turns. What JustSaiyan came back to us, sent us the recording, and it was nearly 40 minutes
to explain a couple
to explain it, which was just hilarious because we're like, yeah, just give us between 3 to 5 minutes, and we can edit it down to like a 2-minute thing. Nearly 40 minutes of him talking, breaking down just a few turns from one game at the World Championship. Just
makes total sense.
That should give you an idea of just what kind of analytical mind he has.
And then players have the audacity to say, yeah, just, whatever, draw Dr. Doom. It's like, okay, I totally get what you're saying. Like, it is a really powerful card, but come on, like, you definitely put way more thought into that than just, like, a one-liner that you use to farm the karma. But alas, it is also true. You just get Dr. Doom.
Just saying, all this work to try and stick him neck, and then he perfectly clears it with the Boom Reaver and the Clockwork Goblin.
I mean, it's kind of expected. Like, if it's not this, it could have been Omega Devastator.
Sure, yeah, I suppose.
This just makes it a little more inconvenient. He does have Bulldozer. Bulldozer does have Rush and something that he can potentially stick again. I think also the Zap hero power is problematic too for Saiyan, because that just means Dog's removal options are pretty strong. Warpath.
And hit him for 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much he can do there. Blast Shield was about the same as hitting the Boom Reaver.
Yeah, he just dealt 4% of Dog's total life. Nearly.
Dog still has a couple bombs in the deck, but he doesn't have his Elysiana, so as he gets close to his fatigue situation, keep in mind that Dog doesn't have many things to do besides do that. It's not like he can present threats, because he doesn't really have a threat-heavy deck.
Yeah.
Let the pain speak to me.
Zap the Acolyte.
He wants to try and play around Hecklebot.
Yeah.
That's really the only way he loses at this point. He needs to find it.
Does he even play a card? I guess so, yeah, because he burns Elysiana.
Yeah, you don't want to burn Elysiana. He's still ahead in fatigue, but that's not really something that you want to do.
Oh, I love that.
No Aslian Soul Thief yet for Saiyan, but I mean, even as he gets closer to it, he's going to try to see if he can stick his minion. Bulldozer, 7 health. Dog does have answers for it. Saiyan's mind, if he can get closer to sticking a Brilliant Nullifying minion, he's at least going to shred the armor. Because the big way that the way that you can kind of equalize the fatigue scenario, if you can kind of go even-ish on cards, only be 3 or 4 behind, is life. Saiyan doesn't actually have a real pressure plan if you can't stick a minion. 2 Wrench Calibers go in the hand for Dog.
Still has Blastmaster Boom as well. Problem is like as the deck gets smaller for JustSaiyan, the amount of bombs that are going to stick in the deck is lower. But at this point, like we said, I mean, we've talked about it the whole match.
Okay, then.
He doesn't need to pressure. It doesn't matter. As long as he picks up Elysiana.
Yeah, I mean, the bomb counts do matter at this point. Like, each range caliber represents 16 damage. And Saiyan doesn't have ways to weed them out through an Elysiana, so he's going to take these bombs. Saiyan might end up just... Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that option. I was like, I think he might just hold 10 cards, but he says, you know what? TJ and Froden have suffered enough.
Thank you. There's no... There's still no Archivist Elysiana, but choose one or the other, which we've seen a lot of players do. Frozen chose the Mecha 2 package. Pretty much everybody else chose Elysiana. But Asalina gives you the best of both worlds. And maybe even sometimes gives you better matchups against other decks.
Yeah, I can see that, but it requires precise timing. I think it's a much harder card to play. Archivist Elysiana is fairly straightforward in terms of the timing that you want to actually go for the battle cry.
Yeah, you also have to predict your opponent's timing.
That's right, too. That's also a good point.
And if you miss time and you're playing a Bomb Warrior Mirror matchup, you don't have the option to remove bombs from your deck if you don't hit Archivist Elysiana, which is not even the worst side effect. You just don't have it, so you're behind a fatigue. Dog has put in a Baleful Banker and a Youthful Brewmaster to have double
So many choices.
the Archivist Elysiana. And honestly, if he wants to kind of play around Asalina, if he knows that JustSaiyan's going to go for the tertiary deck, maybe because you have so much redundancy, you just Baleful Banker, play Elysiana earlier than your opponent would expect, and Baleful Banker it to just completely ruin their timing. Just things to think about as this game progresses.
So weighing which 3-mana minion to play here, there's upside, of course, in playing the Augmented Elic. Your opponent just used a coin, and so they can't coin out a rush, a rush minion to deal with it. However, there is the threat of Weapons Project or some other kind, and if you want to get ahead on the board here. And Saiyan, again, aggressively drawing with the Acolyte. I like it. Makes the matchup a lot more dynamic. Makes sense to me.
Saiyan has his own Alec, but not the payoff.
Yeah, I think he just wants to draw cards. Totally fine in this position. He could, yeah, like playing his own Elic here means that his opponent could end up using the weapon to swing and clear off things, and then he gets 2 bombs in, and Saiyan gets no bombs. Or, sorry, rather, no additional bombs shuffled in. He will get bombs eventually.
Yeah, it also plays into Militia Commander.
Maybe.
If Saiyan were to play his own Elic here. And he saw Town Crier, so it's likely that he has one in his hand. Which is the same case for Dog. But he is just going to go ahead and play it, trying to build that board tension, Dan.
Defend the gates!
Oh, yeah. But by forcing out the Militia Commander, he does interrupt the bombs, and now he gets the Militia Commander right back. So,
yep. It sets into motion where neither player really gets to get that bomb. But I think Dog comes out ahead on that one because Saiyan's the one that needs to put on the pressure onto Dog. Therefore, if Dog goes even with Saiyan, like, Dog's in a good spot.
Not the greatest of turns here.
Yeah, there's not really much here going on for Dog. I'm trying to think about, like, what are some possible, like, tempo plays that you can go for. But, again, that's kind of falling into a trap of, like, feeling the need to take initiative. Dog's game plan of just kind of staying back and being passive and reactive, perfectly fine. And as long as he doesn't give up too much of the board presence, he'll be in the okay spot.
Yep.
Saiyan finally picks up the Boommaster Flark, but he didn't. Or Blastmaster. Boom.
If only, Dan. If only.
Maybe.
I don't know. 0-2 bombs versus Boombots. I don't think the 0-2 Goblin bombs tend to do very well in the head-to-head. I think I'd rather have the Blastmaster Boombots.
Yeah. But what if you could play both?
If you could play both, pretty sick. Although I think they conflict with each other because there's only so much board space.
Yeah, that's true.
Shield block, shield slam. It's a fairly liberal use of shield slam, but I guess Dog doesn't really want to let anything on the board potentially snowball because his hand is full of I can't think of it, TJ. Reactionary cards.
I'm right there with you, Dan.
Saiyan at the same time can't really do much either. He might just, if he wants to follow this tempo line, he goes for the Omega Devastator, but he doesn't have a good curve because I don't think he shoveled a single bomb into Dog's deck.
Nope.
Therefore, Dr. Boom becomes Dr. War Golem.
And just saying, if he just armor ups passes here, Dog has no reason to play anything. He can armor up pass and he can go on for longer since his hand is smaller. Eventually, just saying, it's going to have to be the first one to play a card.
Save the best for last.
So he might as well force the action here and try and hit that parity of removal.
Well, Dog doesn't have much going on here either himself. Acolyted Pain draw, I guess, kind of helps a little bit. He could also just play Omega Devastator right back for tempo. Wow, Shield Slam number 2 on the 4-5. I mean, when you see 2 Shield Slams being used that aggressively, do you want to reevaluate this Blastmaster Boom on 7?
Just play it on 7.
He used 2 Shield Slams. Does Dog have an Execute in his deck list?
He does not.
Okay. I mean, look, I don't think it's great. It's one of those things where it's like, if you're going to keep up this pressure plan, you don't really have a good one. Oh, what is happening here?
I don't know, Dan. I don't know.
He doesn't want Dog to draw more than one card. That seems to be the fairly obvious analysis here. But at the same time, Shield Slam is very much a premium removal tool. I guess Jane's like, if I ever get in a position where I need Shield Slam, I'm going to lose anyways. If I need Shield Slam to bail me out of a situation where I need to leverage it against minions and come back on the board, it's not going to be as important to me as just winning the board.
Yeah.
Now we get to 9 mana, so Grom can come out here safely against Omega Devastators.
Yeah, both Shield Slams gone. No direct way to deal with it until next turn.
Saiyan's hoping for the Alex off the top, isn't he? Just like Alex ripped on card number 15.
That would be ideal. Curious what Dog wants to do with this second Wrench Caliber. Is going to hold.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really worth attacking, and if he does pick up his Blastmaster Boom, is an opportunity for set up those Boom bots. Saiyan doesn't have anything to really press in for the Grom here. He's also 1 mana off from being able to use a Mega Assembly.
So many choices.
Not even enough mana for the Blastmaster Boom bots himself.
Nope. Can play Clockwork Goblin and try and open up some hand space for a Mega Assembly going to the next turn.
Yeah, seems reasonable to me. So Clockwork Goblin and the Weapons Project to stop the Wrench Caliber. Stuff worth considering here for Saiyan. I think he has a Warpath on the far left. It's a little bit hard to tell.
Yeah, it's Warpath, yep.
So if he does Warpath, he can push in for max damage.
I gotta move.
I like it. Saiyan recognizes what he needs to do here. actually pressure. It's what a few Warriors were doing. Eddie, Firebat.
And he pushes, by getting rid of the Wrench Caliber, he also allows his Clockwork Goblin to live on board, which pushes 3 additional damage.
Mega D shutting down the Grom here, and JustSaiyan is almost out of cards, but he's got double Mega Assembly himself. Neither player has Dr. Boom Mad Genius. That was another alternative for Saiyan to get really far ahead here of Dog if he was able to climb back in the game. Ooh. Goblin Bomb with War Gear and Boom Reaver. More bombs? I mean, so the Clockwork Goblin may not necessarily be the worst thing here for Saiyan, so you can get a Boom Master onto the board the next turn.
You could play it this turn also.
Well, I kind of like
So many choices.
maybe even pushing damage, so you can like Clockwork Goblin, then War Gear, and hit for 8.
Ah, yeah.
And then
Force Dog to remove, and then
Right.
have a fully loaded Blastmaster next turn.
I gotta move.
fully loaded Blastmaster it is.
Yeah, I think that's 4 bombs now in Dog's deck.
Oh, is that? I thought it was 3.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. It's 3.
So Dog can pick apart this board in several ways. He's shuffling Goblin or Clockwork Goblin's bombs into JustSaiyan's deck.
This would be the 3rd.
What now?
Somebody order a bomb.
Steel Rager helps clear it as well. Just gonna wait to see what Saiyan does and keep take all the value trades. Seems pretty straightforward to me. Saiyan doesn't have that Warpath either, by the way, which would have been nice in this specific scenario.
Yeah, he's also that was his only Warpath. He's also cut 1 Warpath in this tertiary deck to make room for the other stuff like the Grom and the Alexstrasza. So, another thing to note. Also, he used his only copy of Weapons Project, so that was another card that was cut. Making use of the Brawl while he can.
Harrison's the most power, but the least amount of health, so things like the Town Crier challenge it fairly well. Seeing what he can stick onto the board. Bomb exploding again. Is that good or bad? Oh
Whoa.
my gosh, a second bomb exploding.
That's good for Dog.
Yeah, that means Blastmaster Boom is not going to have a lot of activators here.
Yeah, just a single bomb left.
And then he can bounce right back. He has the shield block. If in case his situation gets a little hairy. He has a board clear available to him, but I don't know if he necessarily wants to utilize his Warpath in this position. I think he still wants to stay flexible based off of what Saiyan could play. Although this is a fairly liberal use of Omega Devastator on a Harvest Golem.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Saiyan's happy to see that.
And his removal options for big stuff is
What
limited.
now?
Because that would be the last Omega Devastator in hand. He's used both Shield Slams. He's got Brawl and Warpath. But I think Dog right now is scared of whatever those 2 extra mechs from Omega Assembly are. If there's something that's got a big magnetic effect, like a Brilliant Hellfire or the War Gear like we see, having Omega Devastator is really important. And Dog has this way right now to clear off the board, remove the possibility of mechs, and keep the Omega Devastator. I like this play way better.
Yeah, that Spark Drill, I wasn't even really thinking about the rush, the Elemental Rush minions.
Yeah.
Nice spot there from Dog. It's plays like that which often makes the chat go PogChamp whenever you're watching his stream. Now, JustSaiyan has the Boom Reaver. That's his best tempo play. Pulls out Harrison. It's one of the best options.
Absolutely.
That's where the Mega Devastator comes in. I like this target a lot better than the Harvest Golem, that's for sure. I mean, heck, maybe Dog finds use of the Youthful Brewmaster. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, still has the Baleful Banker for the shuffle. Youthful Brewmaster, because Azalina, if you copy Azalina, you're copying Brewmaster as well normally, from JustSaiyan's perspective. So Dog can feel free to use that because it's not about Saiyan's resources, it's about Dog. So if Dog uses one, he also denies it from Saiyan. So it keeps fatigue even, which is a good way to look at it.
Saiyan can finally fight back onto the board and shuffle some bombs in, though. He has the Militia Commander and the Wrench Caliber. That helps him clear the board.
So many.
However, clearing the board is just really not the main priority here for Saiyan. I think he wants to, like, dominate it.
Defend the gates!
Yeah, I think I like playing the Goblin Bomb alongside with it as well, so that way you can have some semblance of board presence.
Another magnetic target for War Gear as well. That's kind of inconspicuous.
Seems relatively straightforward.
Both players have not drawn Dr. Boom Mad Genius. It's in like the bottom like 8 cards in both players' decks, considering bombs.
Right.
Because 2 of Dog's 9 cards are bombs, and 3 of Saiyan's cards are bombs. So they're both at 7, just cards in their deck, effectively. Also, no Elysiana drawn yet, so another thing to note. He's playing a good old-fashioned warrior game.
Game, speak to me.
Dog has the ability to just kind of like use the Warpath again, draw another card. I don't know if he knows if he wants to draw too much. And then he has like other opportunities here. Like I don't know if Ziliax is like the right thing here. If he wants to free up hand space for like a Mega Assembly, he could just like throw in the Spark. It's not like bad to play Ziliax in this spot, right?
Yeah.
It's just like
I was thinking maybe
it feels like it's such a. It feels like it can be such a big swingy card that it's like one of those things like Omega Devastator on the Harvest Golem. It's like, yeah, you could use it. It's not a bad thing. It's just it feels like you could get so much more off of it.
Sure.
And I guess my greedy, I tend to play very greedy when I play any like slow warrior stuff. So it's just like for me, I think, oh, I can't get enough value off of this. It doesn't feel as good. But maybe Dog sees it differently with a different line. I mean, he clearly does if he's willing to throw the Ziliax in. So,
this is weird.
it is a little bit strange because let's say that Dog was setting this up because he's anticipating a Blastmaster Boom. When your opponent like sets up the Wrench Caliber this late in the game, it's likely that they have it.
Yeah.
So then it's like, even if they do play the Blastmaster Boom, what does the Ziliax preemptively do? Because most people will like, what, they would brawl that board?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely curious.
Still no Dr. Boom Mad Genius for either player.
Yeah.
Still no Archivist Elysiana for Dog. Still no Azalina Zolti for Saiyan. All of these kind of important cards for both players' game plans at the bottom of their deck.
Right. Oh, wow, that was good for Dog. 1 damage onto the Ziliax. Now, see, now he brawls and he loses the Ziliax in the process, but if the Ziliax survives, we are cooking.
Yeah. It will likely die even if it survives.
Right.
All right, let's see how much damage these bombs do to phase.
3, 4, 1, 12 damage. Very reasonable.
Yeah.
Things considering. They average 4 bombs, 3 damage each.
Ooh, another Omega Devastator.
Yes, it's big.
Somebody order a bomb.
All right, good sequencing here from Dog to make sure to play that the Clockwork Goblin. 4 damage again. There's just explosions everywhere. What? What?
Can I get the 4th in a row? Okay, there's 1 bomb left in Saiyan's deck.
This game got really clowny. all of a sudden.
Well, Saiyan can go for the win here. 2 bombs left in Dog's deck currently. A swing with Wrench Caliber would make that 3. With 8 cards remaining. 3 in a row, Dan.
Maybe.
I like the Wrench Caliber. I think maybe we kill the 3/3 because it's the same either way.
It's the same either way. You're absolutely correct.
You play War Gear behind it.
Maybe you want to armor. I don't know.
The Harrison is interesting because if Dog sets up a weapons project, I think you can't like Harrison unless you draw deep into fatigue.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe.
That's true. That's a good point.
It's funny that neither of these players drew their late game like.
They still haven't drawn Dr.
They
Boom
haven't drawn
Genius.
Dr. Mad Genius. They haven't drawn Elysiana or Asnia Soul Thief.
Yep. All right.
3 bombs.
Chance for a win here for Saiyan. A very low chance, but a chance nonetheless.
One bomb.
2
bombs.
Oh, is it happening? No, his turn's green. Oh, but now he can't Elysiana because he dies. So this is really smart from Saiyan because now, when is Dog going to find a chance to Elysiana? And also, Saiyan has emptied his hand as well. So if he draws Azalina, it's pretty much an easy go for him. That was another reason why you played the War Gear last turn. Because you want to just deny any opportunity for Elysiana. Let's say you don't get bombs.
It was a very low chance for that to happen. And we almost just witnessed one of the most incredible endings in terms of statistical probability. It was like in this entire Grandmasters season.
Yep. And again, Baleful Banker used because any resource Dog used denies that resource from Saiyan because his win condition is Azalina.
Right.
So he's free to just use it on a Mega Devastator to buy himself a little bit more time. Still no Mad Genius.
That belongs in a museum.
Azalina comes in the
It's
hand.
literally the bottom card in Saiyan's deck. He's got 2 cards left. 1 is a bomb.
Seems like an opportunity for Saiyan to develop here with the... Well, not really develop, sorry. To remove here. Developing involves playing the Acolyte of Pain. That's not really any kind of development.
No.
I don't know if Saiyan can get to the Archivist in time anymore.
No, Dog just wins the game, essentially. Like, he plays Archivist Elysiana next turn. He's not far enough behind on board, right?
Oh, well, hold on. If he Archivist Elysiana, then Dog has... He keeps his hand. Saiyan copies a Wrench Caliber, can play more bombs in the deck. Wow, what a draw from Dog, too. Before he's going to auto-snap the Archivist Elysiana, the Dr. Boom seems also appetizing.
I think he has to do the Elysiana, or else he gives up the Elysiana to the Azalina Soul Thief. Saiyan's bottom 2 cards were Azalina Soul Thief and Dr. Boom Mad Genius. If I counted correctly, and that second to last card is a bomb, which I'm pretty sure it is. It happens, but not that often.
It really do be like that sometimes, though, man. And it's like you have to just roll the punches, and unfortunately, this one hurts especially because of what you text to try and beat the matchup.
Yeah.
15 health, 7 on the board.
Out of cards.
Saying if he wants to play Azalina, needs to give up his Dr. Boom Mad Genius, so I think that's out of the question here. He has to, like, make a read. Actually, funny enough... Oh, okay. I was going to say, if he copies his opponent's hand, he gets Dr. Boom Mad Genius. He plays Alex just for the Tempo 8/8. He takes 5 damage.
He's dead, right? If the last card is a bomb, that's lethal.
Oh.
He just Wrench Calibers and goes face. I still have 1 check mark. I could be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure that last card from Saiyan is a bomb.
Oh, you're right. If that's the case.
All right, if Dog's doing this, then it's not a bomb. I trust him more than I trust myself. Yeah, I trust him way more than I trust myself. Yeah, it's a clockwork.
No, you were right. It's a bomb.
It is a bomb, just not
For
the kind of bomb.
For Saiyan, it's a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 1 bomb left in Dog's deck. That's what that check mark is.
Okay.
So not the bottom card in his deck. Azalina and Dr. Boom, the bottom in the bottom 3. 2 out of the bottom 3.
I mean, this is still quite the push here, and Saiyan still is within striking distance.
He is. And has, like you mentioned, Azalina can pick up Wrench Caliber.
Or a Mortal Strike? What? Dog picking Mortal Strike might end up being bad for him, unless he uses it right now. He can utilize Mortal Strike and then... like Security Rover? Security Rover with Mortal Strike clears off most of this board and also gets it out of his hand because he knows Azalina is in the hand, and if Dog has direct burn, that just seems like he's asking for trouble. Yeah, I'd be hard pressed. The other option is to Mojo Master to stop like the mana expenditure for Azalina, but I don't like that nearly as much.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Blast Shield.
That's big.
Yeah, just saying, kind of winces, leans back. Just needed to dodge the Blast Shield. Pretty much at all costs.
Omega Devastator. Omega Devastator and the Clockwork Goblin here. Effective removal for everything on the board.
Save the best for last.
But he's running out of time. So Wrench Caliber and Blast Shield and just remove stuff off the board. Saiyan's clock is very low now, and now with Dog's playing the Wrench Caliber, JustSaiyan doesn't have the Azalina play Wrench Caliber and hope that he gets multiple bombs in a row.
Right.
Now, so my bomb counts could be way off. Because I thought the last card from JustSaiyan was a bomb.
This would be a
but I'm
good time
pretty
for a
sure.
master plan.
Does Dog have 2 or 1?
I think he only has 1 because he played Azalina.
He did play
He
Azalina,
played
but
Elysiana.
He played Elysiana, but there may have been one that happened after. There's at least one because of the Clockwork Goblin on the board. And I don't think Dog would bring himself down to 10. I guess he didn't really have an option.
That's it. I'm out of cards.
Elysiana here is pretty, or Azalina, excuse me, is pretty nice to just pick up some cards. You might get Blastmaster Boom for the win. Like, Blastmaster Boom has bombs in Dog's deck.
Yes.
And he could utilize that to help do Boombot damage for the win.
Yep. And it also forces Dog to have to kind of clear off every mech because of War Gear.
Every mech, the Microbots.
The Microbot. Okay, Zap. The Zap Cannon.
Oh, wait. So Dog could Mojo Master? If he Mojo Masters, he shuts off the ability for Blastmaster Boom to come down, and it's only a Tempo War Gear.
This would be a good time for a master
And how does the math
plan.
work out? Saiyan is taking, 3 points of fatigue?
Right. Plus the 8 from the bomb.
Plus the 8 from the War Gear plus bomb. So that's 11, 12, 13 on board. He has to clear off the Microbot.
Yeah, still not enough.
So he's getting closer, and he's trying to math out the
Okay,
fatigue. I
then.
think he's got lethal over 3 turns.
Okay. So he's hoping that the Boombots... Oh, the Security
Oh.
Rover! That's big.
Yep.
Not impossible, but it's less likely.
Yep.
Oh, man.
So Blastmaster Boom,
And
That's it. I'm
and then
out of cards.
he has to trade in the bombs into the Security Rover, hope they go, or one of them goes face, and then zap, and then hope that Dog draws a bomb.
oh, yeah.
So one bomb I think we agreed on, yep. So one of these has to go face. And then zap, and then bomb. Because he can't, he's thinking of the odds. Oh my gosh! What? No way.
I've seen this happen before, but that was 4 years ago.
Nope. 1 out of 7. 1 out of 7.
Wow, what a game. What a series. So close.
Wow. I didn't think Sam was going to get that close, but he made a really big push at the end.
Yeah.
And a kind of an interesting Warrior game considering all their key cards were at the